Good evening. We are Royce and Deborah Featherman. We are both Air Force veterans and owners of Eagles Rest Cellars. This is our winery dog, Petunia.
No dog gets left behind is an important cause. These dogs have emotionally and mentally supported veterans as they served our country. You are part of continuing that bond.
Thank you for attending the fall ball in support of No Dog Gets Left Behind. And thank you for supporting veteran-owned businesses.
Good to go? All right, folks, we're going to begin our program. At this time, please stand for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rugged red glare, the bombs burst
So I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight. I'm very excited to be here, and I hope you are too. No Dog Gets Left Behind is dedicated to providing financial support to reunite active military with the stray dogs they bond with while at war. These important animals not only help our heroes in the war zone, but they also help them readjust to life back home after combat. In 2016, recognizing the role animals play in healing, relieving stress, and bringing love into the lives of our heroes, No Dog expanded its mission and is now partnering with 3 area PCAs to cover the adoption fee for qualified active military and veterans who give a forever home to a shelter pet. Please turn your attention now to this important video.
Hello, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington from CBS 3 Eyewitness News. This truly comes from the heart when I say I'd like to personally thank all of you for watching and being here to support No Dog Gets Left Behind. This mission is a special one, as you all know. This homegrown Philadelphia organization makes sure that our brave troops are able to bring home the dogs they bonded with while deployed overseas. These extremely special relationships are critical, so important to the well-being of both the troops and their dogs. And without your support, it wouldn't be possible. You are truly making a difference. I am truly excited and filled with joy to be talking about it and being part of the No Dogs Left Behind support system. Please, please keep supporting this very worthy cause. God bless you all. God bless our troops, our dogs, and God bless America. Thank you.
So, No Dog Gets Left Behind is an all-volunteer, bootstrapped organization that depends on the generosity of its sponsors and supporters. NDGLB would like to thank Evoqua and RSM for supporting No Dog for the 4th year in a row. Give it up for them. Thank you. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Anthony Webster, who's the Executive Vice President and Chief Human Resource Officer of Evoqua Water Technologies, tonight's event sponsor.
Okay. Good evening. I'm Anthony Webster. As I said, I am so honored to be here. This is, as was mentioned, our 4th year of sponsoring this event. However, it's the first year that I've been able to attend it in person. Evoqua Water Technologies is based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and with COVID and all such things, this is the first time that I've been able to attend in person. And as I said, just really, really honored. I'll try to be brief, but a couple of things that I'd like to do. First of all, I want to recognize the team that's here from Evoqua. We have a gentleman that came about 2 miles, and we have somebody that came all the way from Nashville, and another veteran that came to, as well from Pittsburgh. So want to welcome them and thank you for your service, and thank you for joining me here. I also want to say that while I personally am not a veteran, this is very personal to me. My dad was in the Navy, was a fighter pilot, and was killed in Vietnam. And I have had the pleasure throughout my career of traveling all over the world and know firsthand that this is the greatest nation in the world and that our freedom isn't free. So a hand to all of our veterans here tonight. Evoqua Water Technologies is a company that, just to sort of simplify it, we design, implement, service, provide aftermarket parts for every process that you can imagine to purify water. So the drinks that you drink, the cell phone, the iPhone that you have, takes gallons and gallons of water in order to produce that. We do everything from the Olympic trials, to SeaWorld, to Disney World, to municipalities, large scale, small scale, anything like that that has to have very, very pure water in order to produce whatever it is they want to produce. That's what we do for a living. And our purpose is to transform water and enrich lives. And we are very proud. We have about 4,500 employees around the world, and we are very proud to say that within the United States, we have over 6% of our entire population, our entire employee population, that is made up of military veterans. We take pride in that. We take pride because of the pride that we have in our country and what you all have done for us. And we also love the transformation and the work ethic and the things that you bring to Evoqua, and we just love having you as a part of that. So on behalf of Evoqua, thank you again for everything that you've done. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this, and God bless America.
So at this time, Anthony, you want to pull the $10 raffle? All right, you want to come back up here? All right, let's pull this raffle. Here we go. This is the enter to win, fill out your name, door prize, $10 raffle, and the winner is. It is T. Hughes. T. Hughes. Is it Tim? Tim, are you here? My man, Tim. You got him? You want him to come up here, or you want to go bring that to him? All right, right in the back of the room there, Tim. We're just going to lead you right in the back, and you'll get your prize. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to be doing that all night. It's going to get that exciting. So you just watch out. So, having said that, I'd like to introduce President and founder of No Dogs Is Left Behind, Trish Gohl. Where's Trish? Trish. So Trish founded No Dog Gets Left Behind in 2011 in memory of her dog Ralphie. She watched a documentary on the military channel called No Dog Left Behind. Was very moved by a passage from that documentary. The power of human-animal bond to comfort, heal, and inspire the best in people in the worst situations, to find their humanity in the midst of dehumanizing conditions. So I'd like now to invite Trish up to speak.
Thank you. That's fine. Well, hello. I haven't had the mask off in 18 months, so just to let you know. Last summer, I gained two new lungs and lost my immune system. So if you see me, I'll be doing fist bumps and standing a little bit further, but I really wish I could hug each and every one of you. So thank you for coming tonight. This is our first event since the 2019 Fall Ball. And we are just so happy to see everyone here, and I'd like to thank, I'm talking with my hands, so I have to keep them still. I'd like to thank Steve Berman and all of his team for a wonderful event. It's really beautiful. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors and supporters, and everyone that came here tonight to help us move forward. So as you know, I think that I mentioned what we do, the No Dog Gets Left Behind. We actually have two programs. It's the No Dog Gets Left Behind and our Strays for Soldiers. So what we do is we partner with since 2010, we've been working in partnership with the Puppy Rescue Mission and with NALSAD. And we have sponsored over 150 reunions of soldiers and their dog, and that's at $5,000 a reunion. So I'm just amazed at the generosity of people. When the world shut down in 2010, or 2020, excuse me, we denied it, and neither of you shut down. Through the continuous generosity of everyone, our corporate sponsors, our supporters, we have been able to reunite 29 dogs and 2 cats with their military people here. So that's pretty amazing with everything shut down. It's really, and I can't, that's the biggest, I think that's the biggest reunion, the number of reunions we had in that time. This summer we faced challenges from two areas, the CDC ban and the withdrawal of our troops from Afghanistan. In July of this year, the CDC issued a one-year ban from dogs and animals entering into the United States from such countries as Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, Iran, and a whole bunch of others. And they were kind of the areas that we were really focused on at that time, though we have brought dogs and reunited them here. We have someone here now that's with their dog we recently reunited. So what's happening with that is our partners, the Puppy Rescue Mission, is actually investigating and seeing how we can get around this ban, which is hard. But they're working on us, and they will deliver a plan. They're actually trying to see if some of their groups that we work with in Canada and overseas can have the dogs stay there for a couple months, because if they're in a country that's friendly with the United States, then we can bring that dog back in 2 months. So we're trying to get that done. I guess it would raise the cost of the reunions, but I think it's well worth it if we can do that. So we'll also keep our fingers crossed that they lift the ban. And the Afghanistan withdrawal, we know, and the manner in which the withdrawal was executed has greatly impacted our military members and veterans who served in Afghanistan. We ask that you do not suffer alone. There's many organizations out there that will help you, so please, please look those up, talk to whoever you want. Talk to all your friends to get us where you need to go, because we're very concerned about that. We had some conversations with our veterans after the withdrawal, and you could just feel from them how upset they were about what was going to happen with the Afghani people, and so we want to make sure that they are okay. The other issue that impacted us in Afghanistan is that NALZAD, that was who our partners were in Afghanistan. I don't know if anyone, Ken he was a Royal Marine, he originally started the NALZAD. He had to close the shelter when everything happened. So right now, there's no support for a lot of the animals in Afghanistan. What Penn's role was to reunite the dogs, and we supported him from funding. But he also had a role where he would go out and teach people about how to treat animals. He would go out and treat donkeys that were there, who do a lot of the labor for the people. And so it's disappointing that he's no longer there, because he was an advocate both from the military and for the stray animals. I would also like to address, and I'm sure everybody in the world saw this picture, that was circulated around the world showing dogs left in crates at the Kabul airport. I just want people assumed that these were military working dogs, and they were not. I can assure you that the military working dogs Let me start. People assume that these are military working dogs. I can assure you they were not. Military working dogs are no longer considered equipment that they were during the Vietnam War. They must be brought home. So I wanted to assure everybody that they were not our military working dogs. The dogs that were left there were contract working dogs, and what they call sniffer dogs. They were contracted out to organizations who worked in Afghanistan. Apparently, these organizations are not responsible to bring their dogs home. It's a sore spot, as you can tell, with me. Also, when they were there, they were being taken care of by the Marines that were stationed there. They were making sure the dogs had water, letting them out of their crates. But when they left, the dogs remained. So what happened was there was a lot of strays there and a lot of contract working dogs, so they let them loose. But they let them loose on the base and not into the streets. So there's another group there called the Cabal, Small Animal Rescue Group, run by an American woman who stayed to continue her efforts into getting those dogs back and to also work with the Taliban to provide food to the dogs. They have allowed her to go in and with dog food and with water and to make sure that the dogs, and keep the dogs happy. I don't know the current status of that. But if you would like, there is a Cabal Small Animal Rescue, and where she gives updates quite often about where they are in that process. She's still bringing in stray dogs. People are still dropping them off. So she's a remarkable woman. She really is. It's not easy for her there. Not only being a woman, but being an American. So let's talk a little bit about our Strays for Soldier program. As I mentioned, that's where in the past, we had paid the adoption fees for active military and veterans. Last year on Veterans Day, we sponsored a free pet food pantry for our veterans in partnership with the Pennsylvania SPCA. We provided pet food to 107 households, which is 98 dogs and 108 cats for a total of 266 pets. Our volunteers saw veterans being driven to the pop-up and receiving rides from the community transit and neighbors to come to get food to feed their pets. There's always been a need for access to pet food, and the pandemic has only increased that need. We were honored to help our veterans and their forever friends stay together. So this year, what we're trying to do on Veterans Day, we were thinking about doing another pet food drive, but in working with the Pennsylvania SPCA, we decided to actually do a vaccine clinic on Erie Avenue, where we are inviting veterans and active military to come, and we provide a whole list of services they could have. They could vaccinate their dogs or cats for free. It doesn't matter if you received your dog from the Pennsylvania SPC, it would be any dogs received anywhere. There are 58,000 veterans in the Philadelphia area. From what I read, there's 8% of those are below the poverty line. So how do we help them? How do we make sure they can keep their companions? So at this, we're trying to do, let me just get my notes here, I apologize. We're going to be offering vaccine, medical treatment, flea and tick medication, cat carriers, which, well, cat carriers, but they say that many of the veterans who come to Pennsylvania SPCA don't have carriers. They actually bring their cats in a cardboard box. We are also, we'll have leashes and harnesses for that. Cat scratchers, which is another, I had a question mark on, and she said one of the biggest reasons people return cats is because they scratch and ruin their furniture. So by having these cat scratchers, we're hoping that they won't have or feel the need to bring the dog back, that it will help with that. We are also offering spade and neuter surgery, and this is quite a big effort for us and for the Pennsylvania SPCA, and it's quite expensive to do so. So I guess, once again, I'm asking for everyone's support with that. We're really excited to help. That's what we're trying, what our main goal is, and we just have to wait to see what comes out of the ban with the CDC and how we will manage that going forward. Even though they banned the other countries, there's still countries we can help with. So I'm very happy about that. You wouldn't tell, by the way, I was speaking about this, but to me, I don't understand why we have veterans under the poverty level. I really don't. I don't understand why we have homeless veterans. One veteran that's homeless is one too many. We have to be able, yeah, I agree. So what can we do? The dog's impressed too, I have to say. So the goal here is what can we do to help them? Like, how come they're homeless? How come they're below the poverty line? And I know there's a lot of wonderful organizations out there that really want to help. And so we're just one part. We're trying to be one part of that overall help that they need. So I'm very happy, I'm very excited about this, and I'm very thrilled that you all came tonight after being locked up for 2 years or a year and a half, whatever that's been, at least for me. I'm a little talking, I get a little bit emotional when I talk about it, so I have to pause as to not to sound too emotional. But thank you for being here. I'll let everyone know how we did at the free clinic at the SPCA for veterans. I think it's going to be very successful, and I hope it's something we can do annually and maybe more than once a year. Right now we're focusing on Veterans Day. I also want to thank, I've just received from Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick the flag of the United States that was flown at half-mast in Congress. This is to, and I'll just read from it, this is to certify the accomplishments, sorry, it was me, the accomplishments, I'm sorry. This is to certify that the accompanying flag has flown over the United States Capitol at the request of the Honorable Brian Fitzpatrick, a member of Congress. This was presented to No Dog Gets Left Behind, and for your outstanding service to our veterans by uniting active military personnel and veterans with companion dogs. This was signed by, or approved by both speakers of the House, which, as Brian said, that's pretty unusual for them to agree on something, so I'm really honored with that. We were also given a flag that I'm very proud to have, and so I thank him very much. I thank all of you, and have a great time tonight. Thank you.
Please give it up again for Trish. Trish, you are amazing. You too, doggo. So, at this time, following that, you heard the stories and understand the important work that No Dog Gets Left Behind does. To date, No Dog has reunited over 90 service members with the stray dogs they rescued while deployed overseas. Tonight's fall ball has reunited 6 service members with their dogs, Abu and soldier Melissa, Hope and Airman Christina, Stubbs and soldier Luke, Charlie and Petty Officer 3rd Class Dean, Shrimp and soldier Adrian, and Fanier and soldier Judah. And so additionally, I want to say that No Dogs Strays for Soldiers program subsidized the cost for qualifying veterans to rescue dogs and cats from participating PSPCA shelters. No Dog has already helped to support more than 300 new unions. So now it's time to make a difference. You heard from Trish what they're doing, which is fantastic. Raising money for the medical treatments, spay and neutering, preventive vaccines, flea and tick. This costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to run these type of operations, and I know we can raise it here tonight. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to have the appeal now. So here's what you have. In front of you, you should all have your bidder numbers. That's on the blue cards. Everybody hold up their bidder numbers. We're just going to practice. I'm not making you commit to anything. Not yet. 201. But, there you go. Thank you. All right, so those are your bidder numbers, okay? I'm going to call out an amount. And if you want to support, I want you to hold it up real high until I call out your number, okay? And we're going to clap, and we're going to encourage people to hold up those numbers. So here we go. Who's going to step up in a big way? In a big way, we're going to start high. Who's going to step up with medical treatments for 6 to 8 dogs and cats for $1,000? Who's step up at $1,000? Anybody 1,000? Bidder number 1. What is that? 129. Bidder number 129. Is that Mr. Hughes? Mr. Hughes, thank you so much, Mr. Hughes. Bidder number 129. You got that? Thank you for clapping. Anybody else at $1,000? Anybody else at $1,000? Anybody else going to step up at 1,000? Let's see a hand up. Let's see. We have in the back over there. What is that? What is that? 157. Really testing my eyes. 157. Big round of applause in the back over there at $1,000. Thank you so much. $1,000. Bidder number 157. Anybody else at 1,000? Bidder number 388. Thank you, 388 in the back. Big round of applause back there. 388. Anybody else at $1,000? Anybody over here? We have anybody else at 1,000? Would the dog like to donate? Anybody else at 1,000? $1,000? Right here. Thank you, sir. Bidder number 397. Thank you so much. Anyone else? $1,000. Anybody else? Going once, twice. All right. How about at $750? Spay and neutering for 6 to 8 dogs. $750. Going to step up at $750. $750 is going to be $750. I need $750. Going to be $750. $750. Anybody give me $750? $750. Going once, twice. All right. How about $500 preventive vaccines? Preventative vaccines for 15 dogs at $500. Who's going to step up at $500? I need a hand up at $500. Bidder number, what are you? 298. Bidder number 298. Big round of applause, 298. Bidder number, what is that, 132? 132. Thank you so much, 132. Anybody else, $500 the vaccine? 126. Bidder number 126 right here. Thank you so much. Big round of applause. Anybody else at $500? $500 right there. What does that say? Did you write that on there? Number 174. Number 17. Now they're just testing me. I know what they're doing. Bidder number 174. Thank you so much, 174. Anybody else at $500 is going to be 500. 500 right here. Bidder number 206. Big round of applause, 206. Anyone else? $500. $500 is going to be 500. I need $500. It's going to be $500. $500. That's 15 dogs and cats preventative vaccines. Anybody else at 500? Going once, twice. Hey. How about $250, just up at $250. We've got flea and tick medication for 30 dogs. Flea and tick medication for 30 dogs. Bidder number, all right, ready? Hold them up until I call out your number. And big round of applause here. 278. Thank you, bidder number 278. We got bidder number 372. Thank you, 372. 512. Thank you, 512. Anybody else? Bidder number 248. Bidder number 248 at $250. We have bidder number 304. Thank you, 304. I can't see that number. What is that? 247? Thank you, 247. Now they're writing them in pencil? Like, come on. You're messing with me now. 247. Thank you so much. Anybody else? $250 is going to be $250. $250. $250. Anybody else? Going once? $250 going twice? All right. How about $100? Spay and neutering for 1 dog and cat, $100. Hold them up. Hold them up. I'm going to call them out. Here we go. We're going to start this way. We're going to move this way. So keep them high until I call out your number. You ready? Bidder number 201. Thank you, 201. 349. 506. Tell me if I'm going too fast, all right? Tell me if I'm going too fast. Bidder number 344. Thank you, 344. Bidder number 210. If you're not holding up your card, you need to be clapping. Bidder number 410. Bidder number 289. 289. Bidder number 197. Thank you, 197. 509 in the back. We have bidder number 423. 423? 413. Thank you. 413, bidder number 413. Thank you so much. Bidder number 258. 258 in the back. Bidder number, I'm not going to that one. Bidder number 147. What does that say? 230. How can you read that song? 233. Bidder number 233. Thank you, 233. What is, that is not, come on. Bidder number 111. Thank you so much, 111. All right, we're moving over here. You ready? Okay, you ready? Here we go. You ready? Okay, here we go. Bidder number 169. Bidder number 406. Bidder number 220. That's 220. Bidder number 408. Thank you, 408. Bidder number 390? 380. I was so close. Just one more curve. 380. Thank you, 380. I can't read that crumpled up one. 326. Thank you, 326. What are you? 260. Thank you so much, 266. Sorry, the feedback there. Anybody else? We have anybody else at $100? Huh? Yeah. And bidder, we got Zach Ertz with bidder number 407. Thank you, Zach Ertz, for being here tonight. 407. You're a good man. Flew in from Arizona, my man. Anybody else? Anybody else $100? How about $50? You want to do $50? Anybody at $50? Can we hold our hands up at 50? All right, here we go. You ready? Bidder number 344. I can read that one. 344. Bidder number 270. Oh, you're good. Meatball's mom over here. 274. Anybody else? $50. 274. We got 244 in the front here. 346 facing me. Thank you so much. We have 269. We have 127. And we have bidder number 169. Is that 169? Thank you, 169. 384. 384. And bidder number 117. Folks, give yourselves a big round of applause. That is awesome. Oh, wait, we got a couple more. We got bidder number 200. Bidder number 200. We got bidder number 28. Is that 28? What is it? 211? That doesn't look like that. I'm going to have to talk to somebody on this. 225. So that was 211 and 225. Anybody else going once, twice? All done? I'll sell it. Sold. Congratulations, folks. Great job. Folks, if you didn't put up your hand, you still make a donation on the GiveSmart. You still make a donation on your GiveSmart app, any amount you want. You want it to be a different number? I'm totally want. They can do it on the GiveSmart app. They're going to do that. So there's 25, 10, 15, 5,000, 10,000, whatever you want. You can put it on the GiveSmart app. So, so at this time, I want to go back because I missed one thing. So I just want to go back here. And at this time, I told you about the dogs, the members and their dogs that were united. 6 servicemen, Abu and Soldier Melissa. We had Hope and Airman Christina. We had Stubbs and Soldier Luke, Charlie and Petty Officer 3rd Class Dean, Shrimp and Soldier Adrian, and Finier and Soldier Judah. And we're so thrilled to have Soldier Lydia Mathis here tonight with her buddy Remy, who she brought home from Saudi Arabia. Thank you for your service, Lydia. Where's Lydia? Lydia, where are you? Hi, Lydia. Big round of applause for Lydia. So thank you so much. And then I'm going to say, this time I'd like to introduce Steve Berman, Director of Fundraising for ND GL to the B. Steve Berman, the man. And we're going to have the video. Let's get that video going.
Roll it, Jim.
Honestly, I wanted to join the military. I know it's kind of cliche, but after 9/11, that had a big impact on me. Just seeing what happened to our country, and everyone was going to, protect our country. I felt the obligation to have to do the same. I enlisted into the United States Army when I was 19 years old. My first deployment to Afghanistan, 2010 to 2011, in the Arghandab River Valley with the 4th Infantry Division. I came back. I went from Colorado to Kentucky, where I deployed again in 2013 to Afghanistan, and that's where I met Chemo. So Chemo started out as our kind of base dog. She was kind of the morale booster, and now she's my family pet. There was a group of guys that were taking care of this dog, and when we first got there, they said, no one's to mess with this dog. We come to find out they've been taking care of her, and she was part of the family. Chemo was just one of us. She was there for the guys when they needed a piece of home. I get a lot of the credit for helping Chemo out, but it wasn't just me. It's the guys before me that they took care of her. They're the reason that she is here today. I just was lucky enough to be able to bring her home. We would feed her hot dogs. She loved hot dogs. That was a big thing for her. And water bottles. She loves water bottles. So we didn't have much to play with. We didn't have dog toys over there. So water bottles, we would throw that around or play tug of war with her, and she loved that, so she still does that now. Personally, chemo impacted me. To be honest, I didn't realize it until I came home. I knew she was special. I knew as a leader over there, I knew she meant a lot to my guys, and I knew at times we needed her comfort. I would get FaceTime calls from the guys in my squad, not to talk to me. They wanted to see chemo, or they would come to my house and just to visit chemo. It brought us all together really close. It really did. No dog gets left behind. They're the ones that kind of picked everything up. They planned everything. It was hard for me to communicate. Could only get in the computer and, the phone every once in a while. So my family, my wife are the ones that kind of really set everything up. It was just up to me to get her from our base to Kabul. That was my only job. No Dog Gets Left Behind is a nonprofit organization. They reunite soldiers with their dogs that they met overseas, and they bring them back to the States to live happy lives. The relationship we have because of what we've been through together, it's hard to, kind of relate, and it might sound silly, but I can relate with chemo. She can relate with me, I feel, in some type of way, right? We were both in Afghanistan together. We were both been through a lot together, and she has a story to tell for sure.
Testing. That one's not working. So I'm gonna go with this one. So, first of all, thank you everyone for coming out tonight. I know this has been some strange times over the last couple of years, and I know there's a lot of trepidation about going out to live events. So it really means a lot to us that you showed up here tonight. This event is a really important event for No Dog Gets Left Behind, and everyone here is really important to us, so thank you all. Thank you, of course, to Trish Gull for making No Dog Gets Left Behind a reality, for doing all that she's done and helping countless veterans. Thank you to Josh and the Katz Family Foundation for emceeing tonight, and for Soul Custody for providing the music for the third year in a row. I hope everybody's enjoying the entertainment. I want to thank BFA Productions for live streaming tonight's event, and Glasstown Productions for that awesome Mark and Chemo video and the slideshow that you're seeing tonight. More importantly, I want to thank Mark and Chemo for making the time to do that. You're great friends to No Dog Gets Left Behind, and we thank you. To the Crivero family, the owners of the Fuge, as well as Dawn and Krista, we truly appreciate everything you've done and your hospitality. This is just an amazing venue. I'm sure a lot of you have been here before. For those of you that haven't, I hope you're enjoying it. Sam, Jim, Dawn, Krista, we really consider you part of the family. So Jim, I think, can we go to the slides now? There we go. I want to, in addition to our friends at Mission Barbecue who served the great dinner tonight, we're honored to have several veteran-owned businesses and food vendors here tonight. Backward Flag Brewing. Tori, where are you? Tori, stand up. Tori is the owner and proprietor of Backward Flag Brewing, who provided the beer. Eagles Rest Cellars, Royce and Deborah, both veteran, Air Force veterans. Where are you? I'm sorry, I don't know where everybody is. Can you both stand up? And Eight Oaks Distillery up in Lehigh Valley. They're not here tonight, but they provided all the liquor and the specialty cocktails, so we thank them. In total, we're honored to have the support of 7 veteran-owned businesses for tonight's event. That's huge. It really, really validates us in the veteran community. We thank all of those small businesses for supporting us. The next slide would be the planning committee slide. Let's see how this, there we go. So these guys made this all possible. I could not do this with them. We could not do this with them. They are dedicated, hardworking. They make things work like clockwork. So I want to thank, Liz, Harold, Deanna, Michael, Anastasia, and Dom for making this happen. And I definitely want to thank all the volunteers that volunteered their time tonight to make things run as smoothly as they do. If we can click the slide. By the way, I'm doing this without my reading glasses because it doesn't. So tonight would not be possible without the tremendous support of our very generous corporate sponsors. There are too many of them to name, but their contributions are really meaningful. I hope you've seen their slides up on the screen tonight. I hope you'll go up to them and thank them for their sponsorship. I do want to thank Evoqua Water Technologies and Anthony Webster. Anthony's an old neighbor of mine and a very dedicated supporter to No Dog Gets Left Behind. This is the second year in a row they've been our event sponsor. Anthony, wherever you are, I thank you. There you are. The next company I want to thank is Ragent. Ragent has sponsored the return now of 3 dogs. They've been a big dog sponsor 3 years in a row. Very important sponsors. This year they sponsored the reunion of Hope and Christina. This is a really cool one. So Sea Kits is another big dog sponsor. They sponsored the reunion of Abu with soldier Melissa, and they are based in Florida. And they actually flew several people up here tonight to be at this event. So I want to thank them for their tremendous support. We're really appreciative of all of our sponsors. Their support of the veteran community is huge. These 3 companies in particular are tremendously dedicated to veterans. And so everybody please join me in thanking them for their contributions. Tonight's been the most successful fundraising event in No Dog's history. And because of all your support, we've been able to reunite 6 dogs with their service members tonight. And the proceeds will go further than that. If Soldier Melissa, Soldier Luke, Airman Christina, Soldier Judah, Soldier Adrian, and Petty Officer 3rd Class Dean were here, I'm sure they'd want to thank each of you personally. So thank you for everything you've done. Tonight, as you know, we're lucky to have Mark and Chemo here, although Chemo had to go home because Chemo was a little nervous. But Mark is here with us, and Lydia Mathis and her dog Remy. Lydia came all the way from North Carolina. Remy came from even further. Remy came from Saudi Arabia. Lydia, do you want to stand up? Thank you for your service. Thanks for coming, and welcome to the No Dog family. At this time, I'd like to ask all the veterans and active duty service members in the audience to stand and be recognized. Come on. Thank you all for your service. We know it's been a really tough year for you, especially those of you that served in Afghanistan. We want you to know that your service, your sacrifice, your commitment, and your patriotism is not lost on us. You're heroes to us all, and we're honored to be able to share this night with you, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Lastly, I ask you that you join me in a moment of silence to remember the members of our military and our first responders that couldn't be here with us tonight. Thank you. So now we'll move on to the man of the hour. There we go. Lieutenant Colonel Justin Constantine is the living embodiment of perseverance in the human spirit. Justin joined the Marine Corps while in law school and served on active duty as a JAG officer for 6 years. Then as a reservist, Justin deployed to Iraq in 2006, serving as a civil affairs team leader while attached to an infantry battalion. During a combat patrol, Justin was shot in the head by a sniper. For his service in Iraq, Justin earned the Purple Heart, Combat Action Ribbon, and Navy Marine Corps Commendation Medal. Justin retired from the Marine Corps at the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. His writings on military and leadership issues have been published in the Washington Post, Time Magazine, CNN, The Atlantic, and Forbes Magazine. Justin has also published a book on leadership and one on veteran employment. Justin was named a champion of change for veterans by President Obama and was also one of the wounded warriors painted by President Bush in his book, Portraits of Courage. In 2017, Justin received the Henry Viscardi Achievement Award for raising awareness and improving the quality of life for people with disabilities. Every day, Justin teaches people, not just veterans, how to live with a positive outlook and appreciate the here and now. Justin Constantine is truly an officer and a gentleman. I'm honored to know him, and I'm thrilled to welcome him here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Lieutenant Colonel Justin Constantine and his service dog, Kelba, who I think is staying behind. I don't think this is working, so, all right?
Thank you all very much. Okay. I've done this before. Thank you all for that very warm welcome, and I'll discuss Kelva in just a moment. You've already all met her because you heard her. I explained to her she has one chance to make a good first impression. She blew it. She knows that. She apologizes, so I'm sorry about that. But it really is an honor for me to be here with you tonight. I've been a supporter of No Dog Gets Left Behind for a few years now, and I really do appreciate the mission. Kelva and I have only known each other for a couple weeks. I got her from a veterans organization in Ohio that trains rescue dogs for veterans, so a very similar mission. I plan on having her up here, but the applause are really getting her going, so next year maybe she'll be back. But anyway, in 2 short weeks, Kelva has had an incredible impact on me and my wife, actually, and so I really understand. I've read all the testimonials on the website. I'm sure you have as well. I really understand now where those heartfelt sentiments are coming from. I know it sounds kind of weird for me to tell all of you, especially since I don't know a lot of you, about a story from high school, but there is something that I had to clear up right out the gate, okay? And now, back in my junior year of high school, I was the president of my class. I know you're all very impressed because I sure was. And I really, the only responsibility I had was to pick the right band for the prom, okay? One job. And so that year, I went and listened to different bands, talked to them. I was listening to a classic. I'm done? Okay. I was listening to a lot of classic rock at the time, so, I liked the Eagles, and so I said, hey, let me hear Hotel California. I was 17, whatever. That was my criteria. Are you a good band or not? So I picked a band. I thought they were really good. Lead singer had a great voice. She had a big personality. I was like, oh, man, I'm going to look like a star at prom. Okay, fast forward. Prom rolled around. I couldn't wait for everyone to tell me what a great job I did. Well, the band showed up like they were supposed to, but with a completely different singer. He was not as good as she was, and he just did not do a great job. And my friends certainly let me know how they felt about that. Okay, so I had one responsibility, and I failed. Now, why did I just tell you all that? Well, you already know I was injured in Iraq. You know I was shot in the head. When that happened, the bullet knocked out almost all my original teeth. It's taken 15 years until just a few weeks ago, where I finally, and lots of surgeries, where I finally could have upper dentures put in. So I got 15 years without biting any food. I had to cut everything out and push it back. But the point is, when I first met Steve and I've gotten to know him, when he decided to bring me in, I didn't have upper dentures. And I could speak a lot more clearly then, actually, without the dentures. And so it's not the same thing as a totally different lead singer coming in, but I don't want you to get mad at Steve if you can't understand everything I'm saying. Okay, I'm going to try really hard to enunciate. I'm still getting used to these, but I'm gonna do a good job for you, and just don't get mad at Steve. Okay, he's got enough on his plate as it is. Okay, so I have about 25 minutes to talk with you, and so I want to give you a snapshot of my military history, but then also talk about, and I've learned a lot of lessons during my recovery, but I'd like to just talk about one of those lessons, and also highlight 3 lessons I've learned already from Kelva that I think applies to all of us, especially during the challenges we're now facing around COVID. So I joined the Marine Corps while I was in law school. So on active duty, I was a criminal defense lawyer in Okinawa. Now I know you're all thinking, Justin, Marines are perfect. Why do they need defense lawyers over there? Some of you are veterans, you know that I had a very busy caseload in Okinawa the whole time I was there. And then I was a criminal prosecutor for about 4 years at Camp Fells in California. But as Steve said, when I deployed to Iraq in 2006, it wasn't in the role of a JAG officer. In the Marine Corps, all the officers learn a lot of basics of different positions. So I volunteered as a civil affairs team leader, and our mission was to help rebuild destroyed infrastructure. Now, this was back in 2006, right, really at the height of the insurgency. This is before the surge of 2007. So my team and I worked closely with the infantry battalion out of Camp Lejeune. So there was a lot of fighting going on. We're also trying to do these civil affairs projects. It's a very challenging situation. I worked closely with the battalion commander. When I checked in with him, it turns out we knew each other already because we had played Marine Corps rugby together. So he trusted me already. He put me on what he called his jump team, which was about a dozen of us. We all worked closely together, went out across the wire about 4 or 5 times per week. Colonel DeGrossier was a Marine. He led from the front. He had been a sergeant on the enlisted side. He knew what that was like. The Marines would follow him anywhere because he was such a powerful leader. And we were on one of our combat patrols on October 18, 2006. So just 15 years ago, just that anniversary just happened. And we got to an area where we knew the enemy sniper was operating because he'd already killed a few of our Marines in that area. But of course, that was not going to get in the way of our mission. Now, we actually had a reporter with us there that day. He was doing a story about Colonel DeGrossier and the whole unit. And he and I were riding in the same vehicle. And I noticed that a couple of our stops earlier in the day that the reporter was just standing very still, whether it was the marketplace or the police station. He was just standing and watching, which is a terrible idea if a sniper might be targeting you. You got to keep moving around just a little bit. So we got to our next stop. We got out of the Humvee and we walked away from it. And I said, "Hey, Jay, you need to move quicker here. Don't hear that sniper. We don't want anything to happen to you." Well, Jay told me later that based on that, he immediately took a big step forward. And a split second later, a bullet came in where his head had been, hit the wall right between us. Before I could react, the next round hit me behind my left ear and exploded out of my mouth, causing incredible damage along the way, as you can imagine. In fact, when the Navy corpsman came running over, the Marines around me thought I had been killed, and they said, "Don't worry about the major, he's dead." Spoiler alert, They were all wrong. You know, so don't worry about that. Yeah. But George Grant, the native corpsman, was an incredible young man. He's 15 years ago. He's not so young. None of us are so young anymore. But he was an incredible young man. Even though blood was pouring out of my head and what was left in my face, he was able to focus solely on me and keeping me alive. Even though everything was going on around him, he only cared about me. And when I say everything going on around him, I'm talking about the sniper was still shooting. And it was over 100 degrees that day, like it was every day we were there. So he was sweating like crazy. He was wearing 65 pounds of protective armor like we all were that summer. It's a very laborious process. And some of you have been there. You know exactly what I'm talking about. This wasn't a clean, hostile environment. This was a battlefield with dirt and rocks and sand and stones everywhere. Despite all that, George did such a perfect job on my tracheotomy when he had a coat over my throat so I wouldn't drown in my own blood. Such a perfect job that my plastic surgeon here back in the States told me he thought another surgeon had performed it, which I think is incredible. But keep in mind, George was only 25 years old at the time. Keep in mind, this is George's first combat deployment. And keep in mind that George had never performed this type of surgery on a human being before. He had done it once in a controlled training environment for the native corpsmen out at Camp Pendleton before the deployment. And he performed that surgery on a pig, he told me later. And he also told me that pig survived. And I don't sure if he was comparing the two of us, but we're both still running around as far as I know. So I could brag about George all day, but you know he's critical. And I'm proud to say at my table, Ryan, correct, is a native corpsman also. So if we could give him a big round of applause, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. Now, when I was shot, Colonel DeGrossier, who was on that same patrol, was faced with a tough decision. Should he call in a medical evacuation, not really knowing how long it would take for a helicopter to get there because of competing interests all over the battlefield? Or should he risk one of the IEDs, the roadside bombs, that we literally hit every day over there, and have someone driving to the aid station in an effort to stabilize me? We opted for Corporal Jordan Jeweler, a 21-year-old Marine from a small rural town outside of New Orleans, and told him to drive me as fast as possible. Well, at that time in Iraq, we had a standing order to never drive faster than 15 miles an hour everywhere we went. As I said, we hit those IEDs every day, and we learned the hard way, if you hit one going faster than that, you dramatically increase the chances of causing that vehicle to flip end over end, and very likely killing or seriously injuring everyone in that vehicle. But just like Corporal Grant had done minutes earlier, Corporal Jeweler, who I did not know very well at all, put his own life on the line for me and drove us at 70 miles an hour to get me to the aid station in what they call the golden hour, which is so critical after a traumatic injury. So as you now know, one incident has caused huge change in my life. That bullet could have missed me, like it did with the reporter, Jay, or it could have been like what happened to Corporal Huerta, the Marine behind me, who was also shot in the head by the same sniper. He was shot right here, but miraculously the bullet bounced off of his sand goggles, which all the veterans here know are not designed for that, hit the edge of the goggles, ricocheted off to the side. He was knocked out for a couple of minutes, but he was fine. But that's not what happened. You can see what's happened. Change is what's happened for me. And now I've used this change to verify in the lives of others around me. So, in that vein, I would like to talk about one lesson that I've learned that I think applies to all of us, and that is that you are stronger than you think you are. In the military, they train us very hard to be tough and efficient and extremely resilient. Physical and mental fitness is a part of everything we do. When I first deployed to Iraq, and remember, I don't come from an infantry background. I was a lawyer for crying out loud. You know, what was I doing there? But I never would have, if someone had been able to describe to me what it's really like to carry 2 weapons, hundreds of rounds of ammunition, to go on long foot patrols, 4, 5, or 6 hours at a stretch, all in 100, 110, 115 degrees heat, I very well would have said, there's no way I can do all that. But I could, and I did. Just like the thousands of other Marines and soldiers around me every day, because we're all stronger than we think we are, and we're all capable of doing amazing things. Now, it's important to remember that when you're having a tough day, or a tough week, or a tough 24 months or 20 months into an international pandemic, when it feels like your whole world is caving in around you. The bottom line is, if you dig deep, you're going to find resources you may not have known you had before. We're all survivors. We've all overcome adversity of some sort, and we've all fought our share of battles. But we've all become smarter and stronger and wiser and braver because of those struggles that we endured. Maybe not right away. Like I said, it's taken 15 years just to get upper teeth. And maybe not very easily. I'm sure some of you are struggling with some significant challenges of your own right now. But we've all bounced back from hard times, and we've proven to ourselves that our spirit is stronger than anything that can threaten to break it. Now, the earlier reports about my injury were actually I had been killed in action. In fact, George told me when he first rolled me over, I was no longer breathing. So I know that life can be tough and full of challenges. But ladies and gentlemen, trust me when I say life is also sweet and precious and beautiful and something we should cherish, not just get through. Life is about experience and enjoying the moments and loving the one you're with and taking care of the people around you. So you need to turn life's challenges around and fight through them, just like I did. I'm no way special. If I can do it, so can every one of you as well. At the end of the day, life changes, for better or worse. It all depends how you look at it. And I choose the glass to be half full, not half empty, and to embrace change. Because I want to live life in the future, not the past. I learned that through inner strength and humility and a victorious spirit, we are all capable of overcoming the toughest obstacles. Now, our military has been called upon again and again and again many times over the last 20 years. And despite the withdrawal from Afghanistan, that's not going to change anytime soon. To all the veterans in this room and your families, what you've been asked to do and sacrifice is incredible. But you all signed up for this responsibility with eyes wide open. Whatever your role in the military was, you were each a critical part of our nation's national security. Very few others had chosen to walk in your path, walk in your shoes, and you're truly part of an elite group that has chosen to put service and sacrifice before themselves. Not many people can say that. Thank you. So, and I wish Kelly was here because you could see her and maybe not going crazy, but she's actually now part of how I overcome some obstacles I'm dealing with now because she makes me laugh so much every single day. And that's so helpful because sometimes now it seems like there's going to be very little to laugh at, but she definitely takes care of that. And I know what I'm experiencing with Kelva is the same thing that all the soldiers are experiencing with dogs that no dog gets left behind brings home for these really impactful reunions. Deployments can be lonely and rough, that's for sure. And even though we would do anything for our battle buddy to our left and to our right, the relationship with a dog is just a little bit different. So while I understand that bringing home dogs from foreign battlefields does a lot for the dogs, I bet if you talk to the veterans on the other end of that, they would say it's probably doing a lot more for them and their well-being and their physical and mental health as well. and that's why I love these reunions. Now, as a kid growing up, my parents always had German Shepherds, but Kelva is my first dog. And in the incredible short time I've had her, I told you, it's just in 2 weeks, I've learned 3 lessons from her I think apply to all of us as we're still working our way through COVID and dealing with some of the challenges that come along with that. So lesson number 1, enjoy the moment. If you saw her, she wasn't really enjoying herself here, going crazy, okay? Whether it's some thoughts about the deployment, watching how that final chapter of Afghanistan wound down, or the multiple challenges from COVID, we can all sometimes forget to just look around, be thankful for what we have, and be grateful for the really great things that are this close to us all the time. When I take Kelva outside, she can jump around she can jump straight up like 2 feet, twirl around like she's trying out for X Games, and just wants you to play her little toy. Her tail's going like crazy. She's happier than you can imagine. And she reminds me that we can all find joy at any given moment if we choose to. We can control that. We can make a choice to enjoy the moment. Thank you. Now, lesson number 2, forgive easily. Not saying that's easy for me, and probably not easy for all of you as well, but how many of you have had to discipline your dog, and you can see the emotion on their face? They're feeling it. You know what they're feeling. But then a few minutes later, you go outside, and they're your best friend again. I'm sure some of you can relate to that, because in 2 short weeks, I've run through that scenario many, many times already. Okay, she's a handful. But she forgives me very quickly, and I'm of course learning to do the same for her. And I'm certainly not a Zen Buddhist monk who, has reached this level of nirvana and can forgive everyone around me if they don't treat me the way I expect to be treated. But I do see how much easier in their life would be if I could get to that place. So I'm trying, and whether she knows or not, Kelva is showing me how to forgive a little bit more easily. I know my business partner, Jack, here can't believe it because he doesn't think I forgive him for anything, but trust me, Jack, I'm working on it. Now, lesson number 3, the last lesson. Surround yourself with good people and be excited to spend time with them. Now, Kelva right now has 2 people in her life. Well, besides all of you now, but she has 2 main people in her life, my wife, Dahlia, and me. And we already love her, and we try so hard to make her feel happy and secure. Well, her team is growing all the time to include veterinarians and neighbors and other people who can watch her when we're not there, and so on. She's got a great attitude, and while it might take her a minute to feel really comfortable, as I said, her tail wags all day long. I want to live like that. I want to have those same feelings as well. And that, again, is something that I can control. All of us can. We can't control everything in life. In fact, there's a lot that we cannot control. But we can choose who we surround ourselves with and our mentality around those experiences. I think tonight is a classic example of we are choosing to surround ourselves with great people who rally together around a phenomenal cause to change the lives of dogs and the soldiers who depend on them when they're on those rough deployments. Now, as I wrap up, I'd just like to reiterate the one main lesson I started with. I know that because of my injury in Iraq, I will, for the rest of my life, have problems eating and drinking, of course, communicating, and even remembering things. But just a few years ago, with my speech impediment and traumatic brain injury, I never would have imagined being up here on a stage talking with this many people about my experiences. But here I am, and I'm going to keep doing this over and over again. The point is, you are all stronger than you think you are, and you're all capable of overcoming the toughest obstacles. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for supporting No Dog Gets Left Behind. and thank you for changing the lives of so many of our nation's heroes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. You're very generous. Thank you.
That was awesome. You're great. Can you hang out? Trish, can you come up? One of these says Justin, and I can't read anymore. Okay, so it's this one. So, Justin, thank you so much for your inspirational words, for your friendship. We really are honored to have you here with us tonight. And do we have the photographer handy anywhere? Where are our photographers? Photographers? Suzanne? Oh, we may miss out. Okay. Well, you got us? Awesome. Thank you. So we'd like to give this to you as our token of our appreciation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Come on in, Trish. And Anthony Webster, can we have you come up? Excuse me. Anthony, likewise, we truly appreciate your support, your friendship. Can we get a group picture here? Do we have? Here we go. Great. Thank you. Anthony, thank you. Adriana, or anybody from Regent? Nope, nobody here from Regent. Oh, there you are. Come on up here, Regent. Oh, no worries. There you go. So we want to thank Regent for, again, this is their third Big Dog sponsorship in the last 3 years. We can't do it without support from companies like Regent, and so please thank you them for us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then lastly, we have Sea Kits, our new Big Dog sponsor this year. April? All right, Carl, come on up. Carl, thank you. So, and to Sea Kits, thank you. And again, they've come up from Florida to be here today. Carl, April, whatever your name is. So we're going to do some raffles now. Okay. So, Brian Fitzpatrick, are you still here? No, he's not here. Okay. How about Sasha and Constantine? Are you guys here? Come on. We are going to draw the sponsor raffle. So any sponsors that put a raffle ticket in here, they're going to win a handmade wooden flag made by veterans by Flags of Valor. And Justin, if you wouldn't mind coming up for the winner and maybe giving them an autograph, we should have the raffle there. So you guys hold that. All right. And Constantine, go ahead. Pick one out there. Right, shuffle it up. Shuffle it up. Pick one out. Can you read the name?
I can't pronounce the last name.
He can pronounce it. I can't see it. Ray Strauch. Oh, yeah, it is. Ray, come on up. We need to work on your handwriting. Justin, do you want to hop in here and grab a picture with Ray? Thanks. And we have markers. Justin can sign that for you. I'm gonna. That'd be great. That's awesome. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then, so anybody that entered the $10 raffle, we actually have a second prize, which is a gas barbecue grill. We have to get a marker. So, do we have a marker handy by any chance? One of the Sharpies? Thanks, Justin. It was great. So this is the second prize on the backyard barbecue. We have a gas grill for the winner. So why don't you pick one out? Can you read it? I think so.
Mark Dovzak.
There you go. So Mark, if you'll see Rick back there sitting right behind you, he's got the barbecue in his truck, and you can pick it up from him. Mark, Sharpie, give that to Justin. Thank you. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate all of your support. You've been wonderful. I'm glad to see so many faces here. And keep an eye on the big screens. We're going to be calling the winners of the raffles on the big screens over the next hour or so. The bar is open again. Dessert has been served by Mission Barbecue. Go enjoy yourselves, and thanks again.